that men like to give the solution, and when it comes to the women, they don't necessarily want to hear the solution. Because a woman is searching for a connection. So if she comes into a room and you say, darling, you know, she says to you, darling, what would you like us to buy? What should we buy? This color carpet, or this color carpet, or this curtain? And you're sitting there and you're looking through them one by one, one by one. And what is the husband going to answer? What is the good husband going to answer, I think?
Like what you want.
It's nice, it's nice, it's nice, it's nice, it's nice. And then what will he say once he said it's nice a few times? Whatever you want. Now she's not looking for whatever you want. She's looking for your input into the whatever she wants. Because she wants the connection. She wants that extra part of that conversation. She wants a connection. And the husband is giving you the whatever you want because he understands that he wants to make you happy. So from his perspective, whatever you want, darling, I will move the skies for you. But she's translating that as, that's the end of the conversation. And I want to comment, I want to converse, I want to speak to you. The Chachamim tell us that Zachar, the male, implies force, whereas the Nekeva implies form. Put it into Lashon of Tzura v'chomer. A man brings chomer. A man is like when you're getting clay to build a pot or to build whatever you're building, a plate. You get this bunch of or vase. You get a bunch of clay. That's the chomer. That's the substance. The man is offering the substance. The woman in the relationship is making the form. She can make or break the husband. She's the one that is able. We see it in the Torah constantly. Korach's wife brought him down. Moshe Rabbeinu's wife saved his life. She can form or she can break. So the man, as we know, is the giver and the woman is the receiver. Together they're a team. Just like you've got radio waves and you need to have a receiver, the radio waves is like the man is emanating out all his force. Yeah, let's do, let's do, let's do. And then the woman is funneling it slowly, slowly, and she's able to form her husband. We see this with Mordechai and Esther coming up to Purim. The Jewish people are about to be annihilated. Haman's put out an edict. Esther is the queen. She's going to be the savior of the whole story. There she is. She's about to save the story. But Mordechai tells her, you've got to go to the king. And she's taking her time. Why is she taking her time? Because she's got a process. I have to go to the king at the right time. I have to be dressed in the right dress. I have to make sure that I'm fasted. And eventually Mordechai pushes her. And he says, come on, we've got to do this. And eventually she goes and she speaks in front of the king, Achashverosh, and she saves the day. So there's differences. Men and women coming from different worlds, so to speak, and coming together and making that connection. That's what makes a zug. So I want to give short advice for men giving these differences and short advice for women giving these differences. Number one, advice for the men. Women want to be listened to. That's what we've seen. We've experienced it. A woman likes to be listened to. She likes to be listened to, not because she wants to hear her voice, but because she feels that she wants to be connected. And when you are answering that phone, so then you're listening to her, that is meaning she's translating that as, he loves me. He's interested in me. He wants to hear what I've got to say. Not because she wants a solution. Yes, darling, I'm not perfect. Choose whichever one you want and go on with it. Although sometimes it could be very heavy for the man. It's skinny, some men, their wives are asking everything. But we'll come to that in a moment. Men don't need to solve or fix everything. We don't need to give her the solutions, rather the approvals. She wants you to agree with her and understand her. And that's the idea of ahava. Ahava in Aramaic is rachel. It represents, I care for you. What does it mean, I love you? It means, I care for you. That's the general message in every relationship is, I love you, darling, I love you, I love you. What does it mean? It means, I care for you. I'm thinking about you. You are part of me. You and Chava, Adam and Chava, you are part of me. We weren't created separate. It's not that I found you lived in Italy and you lived in England and then we came together and wow, we're together. No, we were originally, like the Zohar says, one neshama. We've come into this world, now we're again one neshama. I love you, I care for you. And now advice for the women. Men do need, believe it or not, we need caveman time. We need it. We need to come home, we need to unlock. So whereas you will translate that as, he doesn't love me, he doesn't care for me, he's not interested in me, he just wants to be by himself or with his friends, don't. Because it just is a natural order of a man to come home and unwind. And sometimes if you give that man, when he comes home, at the moment that you really want to be with him, a 5-minute gap, and tell him, come home, relax, take off your shoes, take a drink, take a tea, my darling, whatever you want, then you set the scene for the entire night and everything else is different. Because naturally he wants that, and don't translate that as being against him. Men desire confidence and understanding. So if a man makes a mistake, remind you collapse, you fool, you turn about, you're always making these mistakes. It is, because if you remind him, you've taken his ego, which we mentioned at the beginning, and you deflated it. And for that, a man gets deflated, he'll go into the doldrums and he'll think that you don't love him. You've taken away his energy. And if a man phones his wife and he says, darling, I made the biggest mistake at work, and what does she answer? You fool, how did you do such a thing? She's just killed him. He's not phoning you for that. He knows he's a fool, he knows he's done something wrong. He wants your support. If a man is at home and he decides, out of his own amazingness, that he's going to do the dishes or he's going to make a meal, and he does the dishes and he doesn't do it very well, or he makes a meal and it's a flop, and you come and you say, that's terrible, he'll just say, fine, you do it from now on. I'm never going to do it again. I was trying to do something good. You've got to come around the back. You've got to say, that was good. I'll help you. Let's do it together. Let's work on it. I'm interested in what you just showed me. You just showed me you're interested. In our relationship, in I care for you, I translate that as I care for you. I will develop that together with you. Rabotai, in building your husband, the most important thing in building your husband is Torah. It's so clear from every aspect in which you get it, from any chazal that we have. And it's so undermined today, and we spoke about it, I was mentioning to Asher before, it's undermined. Barati Torah, barati Yetzara, barati Torah Tavlin. It's undermined. Everything's going on in this generation. You've got the Facebook, you've got the activities, you can go to this event, to this event. There's so many parties. We're, Baruch Hashem, not an oppressed nation. But we also, as one of the activities, have something called the Torah. And the Torah is the blueprint of the world. The Torah is a secret. And if your husband can go once a week, twice a week, to learn Torah at a fixed time, you've done it. In this generation, you've done it. Because Rabbi Akiva, we know Rabbi Akiva, he wasn't Rabbi Akiva when he was young. He was little Akiva, and he's running around. He became 40 years old. He was a guy that said, bring me a rabbi, and I'll kick him. Some of you might know some of these people. This rabbi, give me a rabbi, I'll kick him out. That's what he was saying, the Gemara says. And eventually he marries the daughter of Kalba Savua, and the father of Kalba Savua, the richest man in Israel, his daughter, he was religious, his daughter likes this Akiva. Why you like him? I can see in him he's got derech eretz. If you marry this Am Haaretz, I'm going to disown you. She marries him, the father disowns him. She goes to him, they get together, they learn, she teaches him the Aleph Bet, he didn't know how to read properly, she teaches him the Halakha. He's 40 years old. Imagine when you're 40. He's beginning learning Torah at 40. 24 years pass, he's been learning, he's been away from his wife for 24 years, he gets married, has time with his wife, and he leaves. In those days he would leave their wife. His wife sent him for 24 years. She got married and she sent him away. 24 years pass, and here they are, he comes back with 24,000 Talmidim. He's coming to town, this rich guy's there, he says the biggest rabbi of the generation, Chacham is coming to town, let me make him a big party. Everybody's come, the whole town's there. Rabbi Akiva walks, he hasn't seen his wife for 24 years, with 24,000 Talmidim, he walks with them like an army. Can you imagine how 24,000 is half a stadium we're talking about, yeah? All rabbis and big, and they come and he says, he sees his wife, he says, stop. He says to his wife, you see this? Sheli v'shelahem, my Torah and their Torah, this 24,000 Talmidim's Torah, shelachi, it's your Torah. It's your accomplishment in this world. You know what that means? And I tell you, Rabbi Akiva, if we don't have Rabbi Akiva, Zeklad Gadol BaTorah, if we don't have Rabbi Akiva, we don't have the Torah nowadays. So that means what I'm telling you now is also Shelah. It's also hers. That was Rabbi Akiva's wife. Rav Ovadia Yosef, Zichrono Livracha. He used to go from town to town. At midnight, he used to go to 6 or 7 places by helicopter from 10 o'clock around Selichot time in Elul. From a helicopter to place, he got home at 3 in the morning. Rav Elbaz of Orach Chaim said that I came home with him. I walk in at 4 o'clock in the morning. He gets up the next morning at 6:30. Yeah? He's walking in at 3:30 in the morning. And who's there at 3:30 in the morning? His wife. What is she doing? Where are you, Ovadia? What's going on over here? 3:30, you have a life, you have a wife, you have a family. What's happening to you? You have to go to everybody, but you don't come here? No. She comes, she brings him his coffee, she brings him his tea, whatever he wanted. She takes care of him. He said, Rav Elbaz, I'm there with the rabbi. It's 3:30 now, she should be sleeping. And he came back and he tells me, all this Torah I do is her Torah. It's her Zechut. Her Zechut. And this is the Gemara. The Gemara says in Brachot Daf Yud Zayin, Hanei Nashay, these ladies, B'mai Zafyan, what is your Zechut in this world? What is your Zechut? And you know what the Gemara says? The Zechut is when they're able to positively send their husbands and their children to learn Torah. That is the Zechut of the ladies. Ask the Vilna Gaon. That's the zechut of the ladies. Ladies have many mitzvot. They can light the candles, they can do hafrashat challah, they can do many mitzvot. They keep Shabbat. Why are you telling me? It's a whole Gemara saying, do you know what is the most important thing? What your zechut is in this world, ladies? If you send your husband to learn Torah, and nowadays I'll add, it's the more important because it's so difficult. And your children, and you go and you happily support them, that's the biggest thing. Says the Vilna Gaon, yes. You see, there's another Gemara in Sotah that says that ner mitzvah, ki ner mitzvah Torah or. Every mitzvah that you do is a ner, is a candle. You keep Shabbat, it's like you're bringing light into the world. A candle in a dark room brings light. You make a bracha, you're bringing light into the world. Bekat Hamazon, ala mecher, after this meal, you're bringing light into this world. Ki ner mitzvah, v'Torah or. Torah, when you're learning Torah, it's or, it's not a candle. It's or, it's light, it's a booming light like the light of the sun. How can you compare a candle to the light of the sun? You can't compare, says the Gemara. In the next world, there's a chut that you're going to get from learning Torah. It's massive. Now, men have a chiyuv to learn Torah. So the men have got this or. What about ladies? That's the question of the Gemara, says the Vilna Gaon. They can do all these nerot. But what about this or? Says the Vilna Gaon, they just have to send their children. Just support your husband when he's going to learn Torah. Then you get them. Wow. Says Rav Aaron Kotler once, he asked him in 1949, and one guy comes to me and says, I go to Kollel. My wife, supports me. It's very important that I'm going to learn. Says Rav Aaron Kotler, you should know. Her zechut is greater than yours. He said, why? He said, I want to tell you something. You go and you're learning with the rabbi, you're going and but sometimes you learn for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. What do? Okay, if you smoke, you go outside for a smoke. If you, in Shavuot, when you're learning, you go out, you have a chat, you have a this, you have a that. You're getting zechut. Let's say you learn for 2 hours, but you really only learn for 1 hour. You're getting zechut for 1 hour. But she's getting zechut for 2 hours. Because she sent you for 2 hours. So she's getting even more zechut than you. Are you hearing what we're saying? This is the emphasis that a lady can have when she forms her husband's force. Because every husband's got a force. And when a person learns Torah, they're learning derech eretz, how to treat a wife. They're learning how to learn the Torah. They're learning so many things. They're learning traditions that they can pass on to the next generation. And unfortunately, many of us here went to school, we didn't learn much. And if we don't learn now, when are we going to learn? So the ladies have got this zechuyot that they teach, and they send their husbands and their children, B'ezrat Hashem, to learn Torah. So Rabotai, we talked about communication, we talked about the differences between their husbands and wives. We talked about that you might think that you come from a different planet, but it's sometimes good to go into the other person's shoes, put on the other person's shoes, and feel for them. What are they feeling? How are they answering? Understand beneath the surface there are messages being portrayed over here. Don't understand everything as, oh, he doesn't love me, she does love me. Communicate. Just like the Torah is written and spoken out, you've got to speak out, says HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The 10 Commandments have to be spoken out. If we take these ideas, then we can understand one of the most unbelievable ideas. Guys that's sitting there, he's got a guest coming, and he's cutting a watermelon. He takes a big knife and he's cutting. He cuts the watermelon for the guest, and as he's cutting, chas v'chalila, he hurts his hand. And his hand's bleeding. How do you react when your hand's bleeding? How should you react? Ow, 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 go wash it, this, that, the other, wrap it down. Finished. The next day he's got loads of guests coming. He doesn't want to do it with this hand. So he got this hand. And he calls his wife, please darling, maybe hold it for me. Okay, I can't do it with one hand. Maybe you cut it and I'll hold it like this. So he's holding it and she's cutting it. And she cuts his hand. Now he's got one hand cut here, one hand cut there. What's he doing? How does he react? How does he react? What does he say? You fool! Can't you hold the knife properly? You chopped my hand, in Chas v'Shalom, you hurt me. Look what you're doing. You always clumsy, Why? What just happened over here? You know what just happened over here? Look at this. Says the Gaon, something unbelievable. I think actually this was the Chazanish. If you view your wife and your husband as one, as the same body, guf echad, in the same way you didn't shout at yourself because you hurt your left hand, you're not going to shout at your wife because she hurt your right hand, because she is you. Just like your right hand and left hand is one body, your wife and you are one. So Rabotai, we leave tonight, Baruch Hashem, it's a very beautiful dessert coming, but we came in tonight with one understanding and we left Baruch Hashem with an extra chokhmah, extra understanding of the zulat, of the man and the woman's role, so to speak, and of course the idea that you might be a little bit separate, but at the end of the day, we are guf echad. And if we concentrate, each one, we concentrate, we help our partners, our husbands to learn Torah, whether it's taking a minute a day and doing a halakha together, sitting down and opening a book of Torah, sharing in Torah together, whether it's conversing a little bit more in the house, whether it's when your husband calls you, whether when your wife calls you, taking that extra time towards them and understanding their role, where they're coming from. We've now changed our outlook for the entire year, B'ezrat Hashem, for many years to come. So I'd like to thank you all for coming, Baruch Hashem. We, as you know, this is the third of our amazing thing. We have an amazing program. We have another month to go. Then we're going to have in June a big barbecue. And before the big barbecue, we have the weekend away, which I know that Baruch Hashem, quite a few of you have already signed up for. It is an unbelievable time when you can come with your husbands and wives and entire family. We take care of everything. We're bringing a Rabbi Shapiro from Miami. Amazing individual, very sought after. Hotel with the swimming pool, jacuzzi, tennis courts. Racham Kashi, speak to him. He came 2 years ago, 3 years ago. They loved it, and it's something very, very special. And we'd love to see you all listen.